Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we are going to do a knife review. And the knife we have with us today, it is the Kizer Cormorant. And I've been wanting to get a Cormorant for a long time. I really like the look of the Cormorants. They have a bunch of different styles. This one, as you can see, has the Tetris pattern on it, and I thought it looked kind of cool. And so I grabbed this one. So this knife, it has a blade length of 3.17 inches. Open, it is 7.3 inches. Closed, it is 4.125 inches. The steel on this, it is a Nitro V steel. And I believe Cormorant uses that for a number of their knives. And I haven't had any issues with the Nitro V steel. And it is a clip point blade. The weight of this is 3.06 ounces. The handle, it is a G10, and I already mentioned it does have the Tetris pattern on it. The pocket clip on this, it is a reversible tip-up deep carry, and I like that because if you're left-handed, it makes it easy to use the knife left-handed and makes it ambidextrous. I'm right-handed, so it's not a big deal, but anyway, just thought I'd mention that. It is a button lock, which also is something I like a lot on my knives. Just easier for me to work with. And this thing actually has four-way deployment. So it has the thumb hole, so you can open it with the thumb hole. It has the front flipper, so see if I can do this. I'm not great at this, but there it is. You can flip it with the front flipper, and I've been practicing that, so I want to get better, and we'll keep working on it. And it does have the back flipper as well, which is easy to work. And you can do the reverse flick, and also you can open it with the button. So it does give you those options with how to open it. And it does have ball bearing pivot in there, and it's got jimping and a bit of a thumb ramp. So you got jimping all the way on the top and then down here, which I really appreciate. I find jimping really helps me to keep a good purchase on the knife. So I like the jimping. And you can't really see it, but the blade is centered. And I don't know, can I hold it up higher? Blade is centered. And there is no blade play. It sits in there nice and solid. So yeah, that's good. I like that. All right, let's take a look at some size comparisons. So this is the Ontario Rat 2. So you can see similar size between these knives and the Benchmade Bug Out. So again, pretty close to the same size of knives. And we'll get a couple others here. We have Civivi Cogent, and I like those knives, and the Sencut Saxi. So these are a little bit bigger knives. So it's kind of a medium-sized knife, and the size works well. I like the size of it. How about sharpness? Let's see what this has for sharpness. And as I say, the Nitro Steel, it works quite well. I haven't had any issues with the Nitro Steel. It takes maybe a little more effort to sharpen than some of the other steels, but not a whole lot. And it seems to be holding an edge fairly well. Let's try the old zip tie and see how it does with that. I found a few knives that do well with the zip ties. That seemed to go through there quite easily. We'll do this pretend paracord, and it goes through that quite easily. And we will do this nylon cord, and it goes through that quite easily. So yeah, they come with a good edge on them, and nice knives. I really like it. And one of the things that I really like about this knife, and some people, you will agree with this, and others you're like, I could really care less, but this thing is like the ultimate fidget knife, this kind of design, because as I said, it has so many options for opening. A front flipper and back flipper, the spider opening, and button opening, flip it open, thumb, reverse flick, that's what I was looking for, and the button opening and closing. So yeah, it gives you all these options. So if you're sitting watching TV, or bored, maybe sitting around a campfire or something like that, this is a great fidget toy. If you're a person that likes to fidget with things, sorry, not a toy, this is a great fidget knife. And yeah, it just provides a lot of opportunities for fidgeting around. So that's one of the reasons I like this knife, but it's not the main reason. I really like the aesthetics on it. For me, this is a really good looking knife. I like the blade profile. The handle, the handle shape itself is not anything dynamic, but they tend to do different designs on these Cormorants. You can get, I think it's a PlayStation button design, and different ones, lines and stuff like that. I just find them to be, in my opinion, a good looking knife. And as I say, I really like the blade profile. I like the thumb ramp here, and it gives you the option. There is a bit of a choil there too. I missed mentioning that. And so it just gives you a different variety of grips depending on the job that you're doing. If you're cutting boxes or around the campfire, or wherever you might be using your knife, it just gives you a variety of ways with which to hold it. And so yeah, I like the way it looks, and I like the Tetris pattern. I think it's kind of a neat pattern, and a little bit different than what you see on a lot of knives. So yeah, when I saw this one, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get this one. And the ergonomics on it are really good. I find this indent here for the the thumb hole, allow you access. It works well with the thumb ramp up here to give you good ergonomics on this thing. You got good control, and it's not going anywhere. It's in your hand, and you can do a variety of different things to control this. So the ergonomics on this are good. It feels good in the hand. The pivot on this is smooth out of the box. This thing, it was just nothing to it. It flips open, drops closed. And so I've yet to acquire a Kizer myself that has a sticky pivot or a not very smooth pivot. So yeah, I really like the pivots that Kizer does on their knives. They all work very well, at least in my experience. One thing that made me excited was the pocket clip. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm not crazy about the pocket clip being raised back here and the pocket clip screws. But Kizer made this one flush, so everything sits nice and flush, and less wear and tear on the pocket, which is nice. And this design on here, it gives you good grip. This is kind of it's kind of a mixed blessing and kind of a curse with this knife. Actually, the grip that they've done, it's very grippy. It's not going to slide in your hand. You've got a great purchase on this, but when you put it in your pocket, it also hangs onto your pocket very well, because this is very grippy on this side. So somebody, you know, if you were really bothered by it, you could sand it down a bit just to make it smoother in the catch area there. But definitely very grippy knife and easy to hang on to, so you won't have any problem with that. And that was really my only complaint about the knife, was the grippiness, because you do feel it when you're pulling it out of your pocket. It does hang on to the pocket quite well, and so yeah, that could be a little bit of a problem, but it's not anything you can't get past. So I've just found this knife to be a very versatile knife. I've really enjoyed using this knife. I carry it a fair bit, and it cuts through cardboard. It cuts, you know, packages and stuff like that. My knives, unfortunately, nowadays I don't get out camping and stuff like that much anymore because of my disability. But you know, I try and use them here around the yard and stuff like that when I'm working out in the yard and garden and whatever, so that they do get a bit more than just opening a package or an envelope, or cutting open a cardboard box. So I do try and use them a little bit more, but so far I haven't had any issues with this knife. It's held up very well. Although this is more in my gentleman's knife category, so I carry this when I, you know, if I go out for dinner or things like that, or just you know, when I'm not using needing a knife for a lot of rough tasks. Although it feels like you could use it and it would hold up. So don't get me wrong that way. It doesn't feel like a cheap, fragile knife. Feels just fine. I just have other knives that if I'm going to be rough and tumble with them, I'll use those ones because they're already beat up and that. So I'll keep this one in better shape. But I would easily recommend this as an EDC knife. You can carry this every day, do lots of jobs with it. I fully believe it'll hold up to all kinds of different tasks that you could do with it or want to do with it, and it's a good looking knife and that. So yeah, why not carry it around and show it off, just because, you know, it would work well as an EDC. And then, as I say, it's a great fidget knife. If you're the type of person that likes to fidget with your knife when you're in your downtime, this might be a style of knife that you look at. And there's other ones beside the Cormorant that are similar to this. But I really like how they've done this design, where they make the flippers line up basically with the handles, so they aren't like a real protrusion. They blend in well, and they don't interfere in the operation of the knife or cause problems in the pocket. And I should say too that this fits well in the pocket. When you have it in your pocket, it doesn't take up a lot of room, nice and light, and works well in the pocket. Just like I say, the only complaint is how grippy it is. It pulls a bit on the way out. So yes, this is the Kizer Cormorant V45-62A1. And I picked this one up at House of Knives here in Canada. I'm sure you can find them wherever Kizer knives are sold. And they're relatively, well, I don't want to say budget knife because it's $100 for these knives. For some people that is a budget knife, for others that's an expensive knife. In my books it's getting more to the expensive side of life, but anyway, it is I've enjoyed carrying this knife, and I will continue to carry this knife and use it for the daily tasks that I partake of every day. So yes, check them out, Kizer Cormorant. All right, that's it for this review. Thank you for joining me on this. Check out my other reviews and unboxings. Watch for new videos coming up. Hit the like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. I will get back to you, and we'll do this all over again. But until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.